everyone, it's Maddie.
And V, and today we're going to be starting a new project on this channel.
This is one where we're going to be plotting, planning and writing a novel entirely from scratch, and we want to share with you the whole process.
This is episode 1, the brainstorming. We have no idea what this story is going to be. We don't have any POV, setting or characters, so we're going right from the very beginning. It's going to be very different to the way we've talked about our projects on this channel completely, because we'll be talking about plot details, there are going to be spoilers,
character names, like...
Yeah, we're not hiding anything about this story. We made that list in our third year of university of like the buzzwords that we haven't written yet, so I feel like we're not going to find where that is now.
Yeah, but we need to recreate it and use those things.
Yeah, this is literally
anything
just
goes.
No, it's no rules, not anything goes. We already know it's going to be contemporary. Like, that seems silly to write down.
I thought potentially...
I'm not going to write a fantasy.
No, I'm not going to write a fantasy, but I just meant like something paranormal, because I've been consuming a lot of witch-based things recently. I'm like, ooh, should there be a witch?
Yeah, but I don't want just like werewolves popping up, like random werewolves coming in. Like, if we're doing paranormal, that can't be part of like the surprise.
I thought it would be interesting to have like one character that was different. I'm just going to write it down because it's anything goes.
We've been talking for ages about the
service station.
Yeah, the service station location, like where you stop on a motorway, and then there was going to be like a hotel involved as well.
Yeah, a hotel, a bunch of restaurants, petrol, and...
Oh, so it's like a nice rather than like a skeevy.
Yeah,
place.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's like theme park but without the rides. Like,
but it's like a transitory place, right? Like,
yeah, you don't. Yeah, it's
people
like
don't.
stay
Do
one
people
night.
live there?
No,
No,
it would just be a
it's
stay
just
one
a
night
you leave.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. That suits thriller more than anything.
Yeah.
But just because of the isolation. That's just an idea, like we don't have to stick to that just because it's like a setting we've been thinking about for a while.
Yeah, I'll put thriller underneath it.
There's like a murder mystery in that hotel somewhere. We've still got far too many decisions to make, really, to be pondering on one for too long. So it would be witches instead, or would you add something else?
I'm not sure, but it's just because witches is what I've been thinking about. But witches have been really prominent like, I feel like there've been tons of witch books within the last year, or like coming out this year. So I don't know if it's...
I mean, witches is weird to me just because of my dissertation project. Yeah, what if it was set at a boarding school? That's another one of our like dream.
The thing I wonder about boarding schools, well, I've only ever really seen them done murder mystery. I don't know how much I'd actually be able to utilise the boarding school setting in an interesting way.
I don't know whether I'm interested in like setting it during the school year anyway, so...
Yeah. Summer.
Okay, so that are we going with the service station location then?
That's the one thing that we are very specifically bringing to this project.
I mean, we could turn it into a service station, or if we wanted to widen it out a little bit so there was more residency, it could just be like a drive-through town, like a proper place in the middle of nowhere where you just drive through and people stop there mostly just to get petrol. Like, I need to be more open-minded, I think, just in general about this, because otherwise... it's not going to be fun. Yeah. Like, we're not going to make, like, fruitful choices.
Because the truth of the matter is, we have both come to this project with an idea of what it's going to be, without discussing anything.
What are the things that we know together, like, subconsciously before we start the same?
Okay.
Dual POV, right?
Dual perspective, and...
They're already
friends.
know each other.
Yeah.
They might not be friends already, but, like, they may be neighbours that don't know each other, like... They know of each other. Is the important thing.
Already know of each other. The thing is, I've always wanted to write step-siblings.
Well, you may as well write step-siblings down, because we can't remember where our bucket list sheet is, so we may as well.
I just think step-siblings... Like, there are going to be more characters than just these two, right? And step-siblings are really interesting to me, that it's like another way to have two characters that are the same age without them being twins.
Okay, so let's move on from genre then. Age of the characters?
They definitely will need to have driven.
Sixth form. So they're like 17.
Yeah.
I really want to write about like a properly famous person, you know, BTS level fame, where everyone knows who you are, you have like no life, or maybe about an actor, I suppose, rather than a singer again, but...
Yeah, an actor would be...
Actor comes to small town was... I just want to write... This is what happy looks like, basically.
Actor stops at service station.
But I feel like that's the beginning of, like, a couple of really, really cheesy, bad movies. Famous actor stranded in small town. Stuck in the suburbs. It's stuck in the suburbs. Who's to say we can't have stuck in the suburbs and werewolves together, like...
Okay, so what if we did do a singer? And what if it was, like...
I don't know if I'm interested in singing again.
No, but what if it was, like, an international celebrity... so that, like, our main character, who was, like, really into K-drama, maybe, knew who they were. But they're not, like, worldwide.
Worldwide, okay.
No.
That fits into my current interests.
Yeah.
So just so that we don't have like a language barrier between them, maybe he's like a American, Korean.
Yeah.
I'm assuming boy, but it may be a girl. Were you thinking boy?
I was thinking boy.
Okay, we'll go with boy then, because subliminally that's what we went for. So we've done famous pop princess already, so now we need to do like
famous actor,
K-pop king, basically.
K-pop king.
Because I feel like otherwise we'd just be like basically rewriting what we've already done, but very slightly just changing a few details. And then
other people do that all the time.
I know, that's
have the same pool of ideas.
That's the thing. My goal is to not rewrite exactly what we're trying to do now. The thing is, we've talked about it before, that fame is always going to be something that we're inherently interested in. Having fame and internet as part of the story is like naturally going to be something that we do again and again. But obviously that's what I mean when I said like, oh, I want a mega celebrity, because that's very different to having like, oh, a little YouTube celebrity.
Yeah, when I was explaining it to someone like why we chose YouTube, it's because they're like the weird barrier between regular person and celebrity.
Exactly. So we technically haven't done like celebrity,
like paparazzi
level. Like, okay, well that kind of crosses off boarding school then, because that wouldn't happen. So you can just cross that out. We can still have step siblings be part of the thing, but that wouldn't be. They can't have dual perspectives.
So then, who is the other perspective?
Otherwise, it just becomes like a single perspective thing,
which it very much could be. Like we talked about doing it like that.
I don't feel like I would be prepared to write from that voice. I can't think of the words, but like to write the whole like culture shock or anything like that, I feel like no. That's why I didn't want him to like be natively Korean. Like
I think maybe we should write it from one perspective rather than dual perspective. It was something we could swap back and forth, and how we talked about this like a little bit before.
You know, what if he's the third character, so we still have like two
characters? Yeah, I'm gonna write down like one perspective. We need to think of their dynamics. So obviously, like the most obvious thing to do is a romance thread.
I would be living for that.
Yeah, I'd be living for that, so.
I feel like we should also mention that we don't watch K-drama, like, K-pop is the limit.
Yeah.
So, I feel like maybe we would have to do a lot of research into K-dramas.
So we just went away and did some research on YA books that have similar themes, similar character dynamics. So in the last clip we were talking about Maureen Gu, who wrote I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and also I can't remember the author of this, but the book Hello, I Love You. They're both about either K-drama or K-idols being one of the love interests.
And Maureen Gu's book for 2019 also features a Korean idol, but it's a girl this time, and a boy sort of stumbles upon her. So that's kind of scary when you find something that's kind of like very similar to an idea that you have, but I feel like we're just going to pursue it anyway, because and then another one that Maddie said is Geekarella, because that's another mix between like famous person and normal person romance.
If we read all of those things, then we'll get a good basis of what's already been done and what we can use that we might not have thought about.
So the next thing that we were talking about was like how do they come into each other's lives. So he's obviously filming something, so he is broken down perhaps, or the location where they're going to shoot isn't ready, so they end up just pulling off the motorway and staying in this hotel.
She has to work there in order to see him be there, and potentially where she actually lives is one of the filming locations, so it can go on beyond the service station, because obviously he's only going to be there for like 1 or 2 days for the meet cute, and maybe it's only a weekend job so that she doesn't have to be there all the time. Jobs are difficult because it's like characters need to go back to them, they can't just be there once.
What is he filming then? Because I don't think he's actually filming a Korean drama.
Maybe this is his first.
He's doing like a Western thing.
Yeah.
I thought maybe if he was doing like something Regency, perhaps.
In a kind of small town location, your options are literally just Regency or like high fantasy thing.
We could use our NaNoWriMo novel as
what he's filming.
That's the plot for what he's going to film. Okay,
later,
we'll figure that out.
We don't have to have all the answers now.
Yeah,
it's like it's a romance, isn't it? Which creates the beats. If romance is the main plot, then them getting together is going to be the story.
What's like her subplot? And are we doing well, of course we have to do subplots, but we haven't even got their names yet. Like, surely we should get their names first. Okay. Before. We have like a page of notes now, so well, to be honest, what have we really decided other than like it's happening in the summer?
Yeah, it's happening in the summer.
At a service station.
Yeah, a service station, and in a small picturesque town.
Picturesque town, that's good. Okay, it's one just perspective then, I guess.
Yeah. So that'll make it more interesting because...
And they don't already know each other then, that's just like...
She knows of him.
She knows of him, yeah.
Different, he doesn't.
Okay, well that's something to put down as well then, because that's...
Yeah,
Does she know who he is?
That's the thing, we need to decide what her level of like engagement with his previous content is.
Yeah, does she know?
I'd assume that she does know him.
It's either she knows who he is or her best friend knows.
does.
Yeah.
Okay, so she has a best friend and also works with her at the service station.
Okay, but does she work in the hotel or does she just
No,
work on the lot? They have lunches together or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
We're going to find out what his name is going to be first. I want to just pick one of the names from BTS, but we won't. We'll resist. I do really like Sok as a...
I was thinking...
It has to have Sok in it, I think.
But I love it. Subin?
These are the most common boys' names from 2017 in South Korea. What year would he be born? Like 19...
It would be 2000.
Anything in the 90s. Oh, 2000?
If they're 17 now, it would be 2002. They'd be 2002
God.
children.
I really like Subin as a name.
Subin's a really nice one, isn't it?
Those are like the two most popular ones for pronunciation, so it's funny that like J or Chi.
Jimin. Chim.
Chim Chim. Okay, well, it's either Subin, Junso, or Yeejun.
Could we create a name like Sujun?
You have to look it up, see if it's available.
See if it's available.
See if it's available. What do you want to go with? What speaks to you most? You want to go with Sojun?
It's not a name that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, it like
I don't know someone with that name.
It's like this. It's just Junso, but different, but backwards. Sojun. That's his name. Her name. Choices.
I hate picking
I hate girls' names so much. The problem with girls' names is that we have very different aesthetics for what we like. The process of finding her name was long and painful.
I think it's always difficult because I've come into contact with so many more girls' names than I have boys' names, so I have so many more associations with them. Yeah. So it's really difficult to find one that is like very neutral and that you can bring your own thing to.
So we've gone with Keela Watts is her name because Watts is a name in our own family, so that just seemed kind of nice, like homage to our grandparents a little bit there. And Keela and Sojan just... Don't they sound like they belong together? And then we also worked out that her best friend's name was going to be Rowan.
That's one of my personal favourite names. I've always wanted to use it, but never have, so it'll be nice to give it to this project.
Yeah, and we feel like it suits a girl more than it has ever suited a boy. Thank you everyone so much for watching the first episode in Keela and Sojan's journey.
We don't know how frequent these instalments are going to be because we don't want to prioritise it over the other project we're working on for Camp NaNoWriMo, so when we have time and just want to write for fun rather than as like being productive, having a task, we'll come back to this project and let it just grow naturally.
Don't forget that we post writing videos every Thursday, so subscribe if you haven't already.
We'll see you next time.
Bye!